girl Okpe, and welcome to the All Shows Nigerian channel, where I review Nollywood movies, series, and reality TV shows. Today I'll be reviewing the fourth episode, season 1 of the Nollywood series titled Young, Famous, and African. Alright, so the way this review will work is I'll take my time to summarize the episode for those who may not have had a chance to watch the reality show, and then at the end I'll give my take on overall ratings of the entire show. So with that being said, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this review. So the episode starts off with Annie breaking the news of her wedding vow renewal to her best friend Swanky. Swanky is ecstatic about the news, and the two of them continue to catch up for the rest of the evening. In the next scene, Annie and Swanky assemble the group to meet up the next day for lunch. Diamond is still away on his business trip, and Nadia is still on her birthday trip cruising around Mexico with her boyfriend, so the both of them are not in attendance for this gathering. Everyone else is in attendance, and all of them notice that Zari and Andile are a bit flirty and overly friendly with each other. And Quentin urges Andile to respect Diamond even in his absence, by not flirting with or pursuing Zari. Annie and Two-Face break the news of their vow renewal officially to everyone, and Kanye has mixed feelings about the news, as she still feels that based on her conversation with Annie prior, that Annie wasn't fully over the cheating scandals with Two-Face. Zari also feels the same way, but regardless, they celebrate the news. At some point, Zari pulls Two-Face to the side to address Annie's comments and behavior in general during their phone conversation at Diamond's Arab event a few days prior. Two-Face feels like he's being put on the spot with this conversation and isn't really sure why Zari is making their brief call a big deal. Zari beckons on Annie to join their conversation, and the three of them discuss the topic a bit further. Zari makes it known that she feels like Annie has insecurities in her marriage, and Annie is taken aback by this statement, as she feels like it's a very inappropriate thing to say in the presence of her husband. And honestly, I agree with this because I feel like in this moment, Zari was trying to start drama and sort of embarrass Annie. Even though I'm not a big fan of Annie and Two-Face's marriage, I also don't believe that it's right to check a lady who isn't even your friend like that about her relationship, especially in front of her man. Like, that's just utterly disrespectful, and Zari knew exactly what she was doing by doing that to Annie in that moment. But anyways, Annie feels disrespected by Zari's statement, but brushes it off aside at that moment and leaves with her husband, as Two-Face was traveling back to Nigeria that evening for work. The rest of the cast hang out with each other till the evening, and Quentin pulls Kanye aside to chat later on. Quentin gives a fake apology initially to Kanye, and she immediately sees to the bullshit. After joking around, he finally genuinely apologizes to Kanye for any part he played in their recent squabble and apologizes for crossing boundaries in her current relationship. Kanye accepts the apology, and the two catch up on other things. On the other side of the corner, or at another side of the room, we see Zari and Andile flirting with each other. The group soon notices how Zari and Andile are overly close with each other, and they soon tease them about it. Zari and Andile are both not happy and comfortable with the many eyes watching and listening in on their conversation, so they head out to a much quiet corner of the room to talk better. Andile tries to verify once again from Zari if there is anything still going on romantically with her and Diamond, as they seemed all cozied up and too close for comfort at Diamond's event. Zari assures him that there is nothing he has to worry about regarding her and Diamond being together, because that chapter of her life was forever closed. On the other hand, the other group members are discussing about how they didn't like where the progression of where Zari and Andile's relationship is headed. And soon after Andile and Zari are done talking, he's pulled aside by Quentin and Kanye, who make it clear to him that they aren't in support of his pursuits with Zari. Andile tries to tell them that him and Zari are having innocent conversations and that they should not get the wrong idea, but Kanye and Quentin are not convinced. At another corner, we see Kaylee going on and on to Swanky about her relationship issues and woes with Quentin. Swanky doesn't seem or look too interested in the conversation, but he grants Kaylee a listening ear regardless. I'm not gonna lie, I can be this type of person sometimes. Like it's so clear when I'm not interested in the conversation, and sometimes I just wish that the person speaking at that time would just get the memo and stop talking. Drop a comment if you've ever been in a similar situation like this. So, anyways, Swanky pulls Quentin to the side later on in the night to talk to him about what Kaylee had told him. Swanky informs Quentin that Kaylee feels bored in their relationship and wants him to be more romantic like he used to be the time they first met. Quentin says that he feels like he isn't as romantic anymore because Kaylee always seems to be in his business and doesn't give him time to himself. Quentin also reveals that he hadn't even asked Kaylee to move in with him yet, but yet he feels she's still but he feels like she's already too much in his business, hence why sometimes he doesn't feel as drawn or attracted to her. I can see both sides honestly, and I personally feel like if a man isn't ready to fully commit to you, then there is no point with you even still being there, because obviously he doesn't value your worth. I feel like Quentin needs to show Kaylee through his actions and not just his words that he does truly want to pursue something lasting with her and not all this hide and seek that they're doing. On the other hand, I do also believe that people shouldn't be overly invested in their partners or in their relationships to the extent that they feel dependent on them every second of the day. One should still have a level of independence even while in a relationship, and I think that Kaylee needs to cultivate that habit. Your life shouldn't revolve around your man, and since you clearly see that he feels turned off by you overly attaching yourself to him, then you have to refine that, girl, because if we're being honest, no one likes anyone constantly breathing down their neck or acting like a liability. We all love assets, and Kaylee needs to start seeing herself like one. And if she does that for some time and still doesn't see any change, then sis, I don't think it's worth it. So I think you should just exit stage left. That's just my opinion though. Comment down below your thoughts. So anyways, in the next scene, it's a brand new day and we see Kanye meet up with Annie for lunch as a concerned friend trying to figure out if being with Two-Face is truly what Annie wants after everything he had put her through over the years. They talk about the proposal dinner and Annie informs her that she has never felt as confident as she does now about her relationship with Two-Face and feels like they are taking the right steps by renewing their vows. Kanye feels like Annie is making a terrible decision, but she respects and stands by her friend regardless. In the next scene, Andile throws an all-white party for the important people in his life, and we see that his baby mamas are also in attendance. The group soon finally arrives and the party soon kicks off. Who puts their two baby mamas and potential lover or girlfriend in the same room or event at the same time? Like, Andile, what are you thinking? What really are you thinking? That is a recipe for disaster. Jesus. But anyways, at some point, Andile pulls Zari to the side for some chat, and they soon start flirting again. They soon decide to plan a hangout and chill separately from the group later on, just to see where both their heads are at without the interference of external factors. Later on, Zari pulls over Kanye for a chat about Annie, and Zari feels the same way with Kanye about Annie's vow renewal situation and how confusing the entire thing is, especially because of how Annie had portrayed her marriage to them a while back. Kanye doesn't feel like Zari is coming from a totally caring space, but instead she feels like there is some sort of underlying tension and power struggle between Annie and Zari. At another corner, we see Kaylee and Annie talking about Zari's disrespectful comments to Annie and shady behavior to Two-Face the night before. Annie is obviously still bothered about what was said and feels like she needs to have a one-on-one conversation with Zari about it. In the next scene, Annie and Zari meet up to hash out things. Annie makes it clear to Zari that she felt disrespected the way Zari spoke to her in the presence of Two-Face. Things get heated between the two of them as they both start calling themselves derogatory names, and with that, the episode comes to a heated end. Whew. Alright, that's the end of the summary. Now I will give my reviews. First of all, I feel like Andile and Zari are grown adults, and divorced ones at that. I don't get why their friendship or relationship is under scrutiny by the fellow castmates. Like, they are grown and they can do whatever they choose to do. And I don't like how Quentin keeps drilling it into Andile's head, and even Kanye keeps drilling it into Andile and Zari's head, to respect Diamond, when in my opinion, he's not doing anything to disrespect Diamond at all. Zari and Diamond have been broken up for years now, meaning that they are free to date whomever they want to date now. Besides, I didn't see this level of scrutiny or judgment from the cast when Diamond was hitting on Nadia earlier in the season. Isn't Nadia also a castmate of Zari? No one thought about how Zari's feelings were then, or how she felt about the situation then. So why are they all worried about Diamond's feelings now? It's honestly the double standards for me, and I don't really like that. Comment down below your thoughts on that. Besides that, I feel like I've touched the other situations with the whole like Annie stuff. Obviously, you guys know where I stand with Annie and Two Face's relationship. But if she feels like she wants to renew her vows with him, all well and good, no problem. At the end of the day, it's their marriage. Still don't really like Zari. A bit skeptical about Kanye and where her loyalty lies with Annie, because I'm not really sure. Like, she says one thing outside her mouth and then she says another thing in her confessionals about Annie's marriage. So yeah, that whole situation, I don't really get it. Kaylee and Quentin, I don't know what's going on between them. I don't understand their relationship dynamic. They seem to have too many problems that they can't seem to handle, and at this point I just feel like they should just break up, or like, yeah, it's just a whole mess. Overall, I think with this episode, the series finally picked up some pace and was much more livelier than the previous two episodes that I reviewed. I hope they keep the momentum going, honestly, this time, and that they don't flop again. So I think I'll be rating this episode a 7.5 out of 10. Comment down below your thoughts on this episode and my summary and ratings. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.